Ever get a sense of impending doom? The 5 candidates for Canada's worst handyman have roofing to do today. That's scary.
When the nominees arrived at our rehab center, they dreamed big and built bigger.
But now you think it's a little high?
Now I think it's a little high.
They've accomplished a lot in their own unique styles, but they've never understood the biggest picture. Next episode, it'll be time to roll their eco-sheds out of the workspace.
Then, they'll realize that 4 out of 5 of their sheds are too big to get through our front door. It won't be like hitting a brick wall. It will actually be hitting a brick wall.
The nominees for Canada's worst handyman came to our rehabilitation center 11 days ago, accompanied by the people who nominated them.
The laugh of ridicule, that's what it is.
Jaime from Regina is believed to be the country's most talentless carpenter by his mother-in-law, Sheila.
Oh, lordy, lordy.
We're used to seeing Sheila laugh at Jaime's mistakes.
That is an annoying laugh.
But last episode,
Stop doing it!
the laughing stopped.
Everybody else is having fun.
Yeah.
And I can't have fun because he's too serious.
All I'm here for is to clean up after you. Off.
After that, Sheila didn't giggle even once. But she helped Jaime put his cork tiles down perfectly.
It's much like at home, just quiet, no fun in it.
And they were named together as the most improved handyman that episode. That means that together, they'll be the foreman of today's 8-hour-long group challenge.
You have so much to do. 5 sheds, they all need roofs, they all need insulation, they all need doors.
Do we do one shed at a time?
That's Terry. He was brought to rehab by his pal, Harvey. But Harv went down with a bad back. So to help, we brought in Terry's wife,
Ta-da!
Angie.
You're doing something to Terry's shed that I've never seen done in Terry's shed before.
What?
Cleaning.
And work.
Angie's presence has exasperated her husband.
You rushed me. I can't do it now.
I'm not
I gotta
rushing
fix it.
How
okay,
am I rushing you?
Finish
I'm doing,
it.
Look what I've been doing.
Okay, finish it. Just
no,
finish it.
go. I don't want to do it anymore.
I
now.
can't.
It pisses me
I can't
off.
do it.
I'm going
All
for a
right.
walk.
See ya.
Today's first challenge is to put roofs on the eco-sheds. Ruth's roof peaks out at almost 11 feet, and that is a problem.
To legally work on a 10-foot tall scaffold in Toronto, you have to take a course.
You got to have this training.
And you have to write an exam.
Well done. Perfect.
That's our head teacher, Jill Rydell. She's working with our head builder, Greg House.
You guys don't know how hard it is watching you make hamburger with screws.
Together, they've taught our nominees everything from drill technique to solar wiring.
White on white, black on black. No sparky sparky.
When the pros aren't teaching,
It's painful watching Jeff use that drill.
they're in our control room, seeing if what they taught stuck. At the end of every episode,
It's wrong.
Jill and Greg help me decide who the most improved handyman is and who is the worst.
Holy cow. And it's on backwards.
Today, Jill is officially testing the candidates
Just go and review.
so they can get something called a Fall Protection Basic Certificate, which will allow them to work above ground level.
Before you get the ticket, though, you have to take a ride.
Bring him up.
Jeff was cast our way by his fireman friend, Fred. Before Jeff came to rehab, his home repair skills, well, they were about as abundant as his calluses.
He's got very soft hands. His hands are probably softer than mine.
Jeff didn't know how to saw. He was a virgin at screwing. And his hammering skills weren't as good as Ruth's. Now, well, Jeff's certainly not good at anything. But he is branching out and becoming bad at a lot of things he'd never tried before.
I thought I was straight.
If Jeff is able to learn from his mistakes, he'll be a genius.
Bye.
Bye. Ew! Oh, Jesus.
Ruth was roped into this deal by her daughter, Michelle. At home in Capel, Saskatchewan,
What's your hand?
I'm not on yet.
Michelle thinks her mother is in danger.
I'll just hide behind these goggles.
Here at rehab,
Watch your fingers.
Ruth has been the most injured person.
I'm injured.
Ow. Ow. Ow.
Took my bloody finger off.
You're gonna kill yourself.
No matter what, Ruth hangs tough.
That hurts my legs.
You would love it.
I hate it.
There is a point to this.
In the last 20 years, on construction sites, the #1 cause of death or serious accident has been from falls.
With the credentials in place, it's time to start roofing. To cover these 5 eco sheds, we've provided enough plywood plus 10% extra for waste.
It's all on your guys' hands.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to get everybody's roofs done first, okay?
That sounds ambitious.
We can do it all.
To start, the team needs to lay insulation between the rafters.
Well, Jaime, I think maybe what we should do is just let us women worry about throwing up the insulation.
You 3 up there then?
You don't need 3 guys on the roof to do insulation, Jaime. You're gonna have too many up there.
Fred,
Yo.
can you and Terry be on this roof over here?
Sure.
One person who can't be on a roof
Mark 1, 10 inches off, okay?
Sorry, you need what?
is Candace from Calgary. The final nominee for Canada's Worst Handyman rode to rehab bareback on her husband, Justin.
Oh my God.
At home, Candace is so addicted to home improvement shows, she thinks she's a construction expert.
I can build things, and I may even be better than he is.
If you weren't scared of the tools.
Since getting to rehab, though, this chap-wearing mother has had difficulty with pretty much every aspect of her eco shed.
I like the thinking part about it, but the actual doing part, that's where I have my problems.
But Candace's biggest problem has been with Justin.
I'll do it. 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 No, hey, move. It's me. No, stop it. I'm doing it.
He's been insisting on building Candace's shed for her.
Stop it, it's mine. Justin, stop doing my work.
Maybe that's because for the first 10 days they were here, Justin was the only person who knew Candace is pregnant.
I'm 3 months pregnant.
What?
To insulate a ceiling with this recycled denim product,
You don't have it on right.
Yeah, I do.
simply lay the strips of insulation between the rafters.
Okay, I'm gonna need a hand with that.
The vapor barrier and ceiling will hold them in place. Then you cover the entire roof with plywood that's been cut to make every edge stop on a rafter.
When doing roofing, be sure to think safety first. Physical safety means wearing a harness if it's at all possible, and economic safety means using whole sheets of plywood.
Get the measurements first. By the time you're done doing the insulation, I'll have the boards ready for you.
I'm not good at measuring.
Measuring? Okay.
If you cut them 48 inches wide, 56 inches long, the pieces of plywood, they'll be good.
A sheet of plywood is 48 inches wide by 96 inches long. Cutting some off at 56 inches is a bad way to start.
56
So
inches
somebody
long.
can measure 4 of these out 56 inches long.
That's a lot of waste.
They're not planning ahead.
Less than 20 minutes into this challenge,
131.5 by 134.5.
What do you want me to do with this?
several things are already going wrong.
He doesn't want this anymore. He gave me the wrong measurement.
For starters, Jaime wants 3 people involved in every measurement.
Whenever you have a measurement, just give it to Michelle and she'll run it off to Candace.
The system isn't producing stellar results.
That's a miscut. No more cuts for these guys right now.
This one wasn't even cut right.
Keep coming.
You're kidding.
No.
Hang on. How's it now?
Well, it's going on an angle like this in.
I don't know if I want to trust them measurement guys up here.
We're not touching the top of the ceiling up here.
Send it down. We'll get you a new one.
Things aren't getting cut straight. Or marked straight, one of the two.
Sheila thinks the problem is in the marking.
Fred, are you listening to me?
I'm listening.
You can't lay a board down there and scribble on it and tell them to cut it that dimension. It's not even a straight line.
Candace, I got a strange measurement. 38.5 at the top, 38.25 on the bottom. On the side, it's going to be 93.25, and on this side, 94.125.
Well, you know what? We're going in between and it'll fit it in. Throw that
it's
down
gotta
here.
be exact.
No,
Otherwise it won't fit.
shingles will cover it.
To complicate matters further, Ruth is measuring in both inches and centimeters.
17 what though?
Width, the 17 on the tape measure metric.
Oh, yeah.
And this is inches though, because
Okay,
that was
well,
the closest for cutting.
You have to explain that to
All right,
to Candace, yeah.
After the break, we learn why wearing a harness is so important.
I just want to get up because I farted in it. It smells raunchy.
The lousiest amateur builders in the country are just one show away from finding out who is Canada's worst handyman. Today,
I don't know what to do.
Jaime and his mother-in-law, Sheila,
Do you want to be city workers and have them standing around?
are leading a team effort to make sure all these eco-sheds get roofs. They're the heart of the organization, but these co-foremen lead differently.
Good job, Michelle. Good work.
Don't go by that, okay? Don't go by that.
I'm so glad she's there to empower us. I'm just saying.
Some of Sheila's beliefs are simply wrong, like this one.
A roof gets pieced together. It doesn't just have full sheets.
The cut that we need right now is 38.5.
We gave the team enough full sheets of plywood to cover all 5 sheds. They haven't even roofed 2 yet, and already?
We have no more full sheets.
The problem is we're out of full sheets of plywood.
You know there's 13 half sheets of plywood over there, and there isn't one single solid piece on the roof?
Yeah.
Waste, waste,
Yep.
waste,
Put them
waste,
together.
waste.
Can I ask you a question? Why didn't you put the sheets the full length down?
Sheila's giving them.
You've just cost us a pile of money and a pile of time. You, of anybody, should know that you try to pull up full sheets.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Where's that piece of wood?
This is so counterproductive. Let's just get the done already.
What have you got to say?
You want to come up here?
No.
Don't give me if you don't want to be up here.
Well, I'm quite disappointed.
Needless to say, Sheila's most disappointed in Jaime.
You're the foreman that was walking around. I was the foreman that was sitting here.
I don't want to dwell on what the problem was. I want to know how we're going to fix it. If you have a solution on how to fix the problem, I want to hear it. If you have something to blame, I don't, okay? I want to know how to fix the problem right now.
He just walks away. He doesn't give a He just walks away.
Basically, what's happening is we have a shortage of plywood right now, so we may not be able to get you the cut that you want.
Those are filler pieces, because we're out of full boards.
I don't know what you're doing here yet. Okay, I don't know what we're doing here. So what, you want this piece?
By the time the team gets around to Candace's shed, they'll only have pieces like this to work with.
I don't want my roof to suck.
We'll have enough wood for Candace's shed.
It's gonna look like a patchwork quilt.
Yeah, it might.
The team is in this predicament
56 inches long.
because Sheila insisted on cutting before planning.
56 inches.
And is this to here gonna fit up there?
Yeah, we need 4 of them like that. It's his mess up, and he can figure it out on his shed.
It's our mess up. We're
You're the foreman. You're over there, right?
There are some full sheets left, but these all belong to Jeff.
Jaime!
Jeff designed a flat roof, so he's getting extra thick plywood.
Jaime, I can't carry this heavy board by
Then
myself.
ask for help from Michelle or somebody. I'm busy.
Sheila can't accept that.
Don't rush me because it's very crowded here.
We can hand it to them from here.
No, you can't. These
Yes,
are
we
way
can.
too heavy. No, I'm the foreman too, and I say no.
If I had a boss like her, I'd kill myself.
One of the first rules you learn about getting married is you always check to see what the bride's mother is like.
That's right.
I think Jaime may have screwed up on that one.
Yeah.
Screw you, Jaime. You know that you make your mother-in-law work this hard?
Do me a favor. Shoot me.
The heavy sheets make it on Jeff's shed. The edges get trimmed all around.
Done!
And the final scrap pieces are left to go on Candace's shed.
You can do the math however you want to do it, but they're going to be 20.5 inches wide.
That's really looking like a real patchwork piece of work.
That's because they had to use all the waste that was left over from the rest of the sheds.
The remaining wood goes up, in a wide variety of shapes and sizes.
Should work 15.5 the whole way up.
Yeah.
It's not pretty, but Candace's roof does get finished without anyone going to the lumber yard.
Get it in as tight as you can.
There goes the last piece on the roof.
There's exposed screw heads, an awful lot of gaps and seams, too many small pieces, peaks that don't connect, areas that have no screws, and one proud foreman.
Come down! Let's get together! It was awesome!
Jaime and Sheila's team managed to cover 5 roofs in 2.5 hours.
We got all the roofs done. Yippee-doo.
After the break, Sheila makes a new enemy.
How old are you? You're scared to go up there? Get up and help!
One thing you never hear people say is, oh man, I love doing roofing work. It's dangerous up here, roofing involves heavy lifting, and you have to constantly be focused. The next challenge for Canada's worst handymen is to shingle their freshly finished roofs.
The handymen designed their roofs 3 different ways. Terry and Candace both went with one-directional slopes. Jaime and Ruth have peaks. And Jeff's roof is flat. That's a concern. The angled roofs can all be shingled, but Jeff's puddle-making flat roof needs better protection, so he's getting this.
That satin coat galvanized steel roof is going to be lifted up by people who are wearing leather gloves. And only people who are wearing leather gloves.
Justin is a professional sheet metal worker.
You want to see scars?
He knows firsthand how dangerous this task is.
How many stitches in there, sir?
This one here was 20, and that one right there was 8, and then there's many, many more on my hands.
Leather gloves would have saved that injury?
Yeah.
We're shingling with, believe it or not, organic shingles, which means their structural core is made of wood fibers instead of the traditional fiberglass.
I'll work with the ladies about figuring out the instructions for the shingles.
The ladies include pregnant Candace, Ruth, and Michelle. None of these 3 have any interest in going on a roof.
What is the coverage for
Harry's got a
We don't want
harness.
to keep carrying packages we don't know what the coverage is.
God darn people out there, they stand and visit and talk and don't get nothing done.
Sheila and Jaime are co-foremen today.
You're doing too much talking over there, Mr. Foreman. Get those women working.
Get those women working. She better not get on my ass today, because I'll just lose it on her.
If I can lift a roll of tar paper, I'm sure that 2 of them could lift a roll.
I just want to read these instructions.
That's not how you start, though. I told you outside yesterday, when you start the very first one is backwards. And then you start.
I'm reading the instructions right now.
Before the shingles get nailed down, tar paper needs to be carefully rolled out.
Try to keep it a nice straight line, too. Don't go crooked.
On Candace's shed, Terry is confronted by the rubber gasket around her toilet vent. The tar paper should go underneath it.
We have to go around it. We'll just staple the heck out of it and overlap it. Okay, go ahead. No, I wasn't going to say all the way.
These shingles have 3 tabs.
The tabs. Okay, what are the tabs?
These are the tabs.
When nailed in place, the tabs should always point downhill, except for the first row. They should be nailed onto the roof's lowest edge, pointing up. That row then gets completely covered by a second layer pointing down. Only then does the uphill shingling begin. Each row, or course as they are known, should extend past the roof's edge by 3/4 of an inch. We'll explain the peak later.
I just want to figure it out like this.
Jaime thinks he's supposed to begin by putting shingles all the way around the roof's perimeter.
Excuse me, Mr. Foreman, I don't think that's a good idea.
I've never started shingling, but I've shingled.
Sheila hasn't read the instructions, and she hasn't taken any shingles to where she wants to work.
You know what? I'm a foreman, and I'm going on that roof because I'm brave enough to go up on it, so I'm going to start with that roof.
We just piled stuff over there.
She has to put on this angry, I'm in charge persona.
I set the 2 sheds up you told me to set up.
Yeah.
But she wants to do a different shed, so she's going to have to move everything because I'm not moving it.
Jaime, I think you have to do some more organization
Well, go ahead. You're the foreman.
No, you have to come and help me.
I'm doing organization here.
Look, listen to me, though. It's totally insane. We don't have a hammer. We don't have a knife. We don't have the tar paper. We don't have the shingles.
You know what, Sheila? I've already told you. I had the 2 sheds set up that we were told to set up. Either it's Jaime or Sheila I'm listening to. I can't listen to both of them, and they're doing different things. I mean, this is so confusing. I give up.
We started with a little issue between Michelle and Sheila.
Okay, Michelle, you have to get up and help.
Sheila, I'll tell you what. I'm not doing anything you're telling me to do.
Unroll it, cut it off, and bring it to us.
You're mistaken, Sheila. I don't have to do anything.
I'm the foreman. Get the hell off of your seat.
No.
And help.
No, I don't think so.
How old are you? You're scared to go up there? Get up and help.
Sheila was like right on her. It's kind of scary.
We have got 2 bosses here. Okay, I did exactly what Jaime told me to. She just stood there and just treated me like crap.
We needed to get things rolling. Michelle's sitting there and I think quite capable of getting up and helping.
Rather than let morale break down altogether, Sheila offers her most sincere expression of regret.
Michelle, I'm sorry, but I guess I got carried away, and I didn't mean any offense just to you, but if you got a problem, you should come and talk to me. I am a foreman.
So I take it that was kind of an apology.
It was an apology. Take it or leave it.
While apologizing, most people extend an olive branch. Sheila wags a hammer.
A really good leader gets lots of followers. I'm not following you.
And Sheila's not rewriting her apology.
You know what? I just said it. I'm not repeating it.
To be a good foreman, you got to give respect in order to get respect back from all your people. And that wasn't giving respect to anybody.
Like, why the hell bother apologizing if you don't mean it?
So to recap, 42 minutes have gone by and Sheila's done nothing but move 1 roll of tar paper and cause an awful lot of grief. When we come back, Sheila doesn't want to be foreman anymore.
You gotta give up that position.
She resigned.
I resigned.
Canada's worst handymen are in full swing, trying to shingle 4 eco-shed roofs in just 3 hours. On top of that, they have to cover a 5th shed with galvanized steel.
Tell me when you got it.
I got it.
For the steel, Jeff is relying on Justin because he's a sheet metal worker by trade.
Now, when you're using these, try to hold them on a little bit of an angle so see how...
Seemed the same to me, but okay.
Justin tells Jeff to put flashing around the entire perimeter of the roof.
Right in the middle.
Right there?
Yeah.
But why? This wall of metal will act as a dam for rainwater.
This is exactly like cutting wood.
Less than 2 weeks ago, this is how Jeff was cutting wood. Now, he's a man of steel.
I missed the line.
Left hand on the handle.
When Jeff finishes his cut,
Well done, sir.
I explain his damning mistake.
I have some extremely bad news. This is like a little river and a water collecting pool now. This couldn't be more wrong.
To do the job right, the steel sheets of galvanized roofing should be screwed down first using screws that have been dipped in tar sealant.
Oily.
The edges of the steel sheets should extend past the plywood roof.
Through here, that's where you're going to have a problem with leaks. So, to make sure that doesn't happen, put a piece of flashing on, screw it down. You're good for all seasons.
That makes a little bit more sense, eh?
I didn't think about the water and the pool, and I'm not thinking outside the shed.
Down below,
Oh, I dragged my hammer.
Sheila is getting nothing done while her shingling partner works. Slowly. Very, very, very slowly. Shingling nails are short, fat, and roughly galvanized. For that reason, they can't be tapped into place. They need one swift smack. Angie has reached the end of her rope.
I can't reach. I can't reach. I literally can't reach.
Michelle, I got an exciting job for you if you'll take it.
Okay. That stapler is bloody hard.
You think you can do that? Yeah, that's all I need.
If Michelle went up the ladder one more rung,
This is so hard to do.
she could get proper balance and leverage.
I need a drink. That's what I need to do. I need a drink.
You're done with that job?
I need 5 minutes or a few minutes because I have
That's
hot.
fine.
On Candace's roof, the shingles circle pointlessly around the shed's perimeter. Then, Terry reaches the rubber boot gasket for the toilet vent.
What the hell am I going to do here?
This boot, we have to treat as a shingle.
Yeah.
So it goes over top of this one and underneath the other one.
Yeah.
Okay.
They say they'll layer it in, but Terry and Fred shingle right over the rubber gasket.
If it's wrong, we'll fix that later. I'm Mr. Simple, remember?
Yeah, that's true.
After 2 hours and 45 minutes,
Well done.
Right on.
the first shed is shingled.
It turned out really good.
Except for one disastrous mistake.
This is the exhaust stack for the composting toilet in Candace's shed, and this is a rubber gasket that looks just like this one. It should go this direction, and it should be treated just like a shingle, which means the bottom side should be exposed, and the top side should have a shingle over the top of it so that any water running off of it runs away. Now any water that hits here is just going to go underneath and never be seen again until it leaks through the roof.
Hi, May.
Yeah, tell him.
Hi, May. I want to know, Mr. Foreman,
What?
that...
You're the foreman too.
No, I give up that position.
She resigned.
I resign. Go away.
Why is there a sheet here?
That's what Jaime told us to do.
And why are all these shingles out of alignment and lifting up?
Well, it doesn't look the best to me. I thought this was wrong. Honest to God, I didn't read the instructions. Jaime,
What?
I really need somebody to help. We're just sitting here picking our nose.
You're the foreman. Figure it out. Why do I have to be the foreman of the foreman?
It's what we get when we get a foreman that tells us the wrong way.
Ruth is feeling left out. Jaime's now shingling her shed,
Here's your next piece, Jaime.
but Ruth isn't involved.
If you think of something you can do on your own, that'd be great too.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, okay.
What are you doing?
So we can get our footing, man.
You don't need that.
I'm pretty sure on a slope roof you do. See, man?
And that's why you wear hard hats in a hard hat area.
To protect the peak, cut each shingle at the tabs.
This will be bent over the roof. You got it. You got it. So you bring
This is
both
on
sides up to the peak, and then this is your final step.
Jaime, though, never reaches that step.
Okay, we got 15 minutes left, and these 15 minutes we're gonna use to clean up.
No, just say I don't know.
Well, I think this is for the door, but I think it's got to go.
Where are you going with that?
I'm going with it. What?
Don't you have to...
I don't care.
If they don't get their roofs finished, our professional handy folks are going to do it for them just so we can move on with our lives.
When time runs out,
Yeah, we're done.
2 roofs are incorrectly shingled, and 2 more are incorrectly half shingled.
Hey, Jeff, let's go, man. How many screws?
Couple.
Jeff gets his roof attached, but the steel edges don't extend past the plywood. After the break, we close the door on these eco sheds.
What the?
Canada's worst handymen are starting to think their eco sheds belong to them. They don't. They've already been auctioned off, sight unseen, on eBay, with all of the proceeds going to Habitat for Humanity.
In total, selling these sheds raised over $10,000. Next episode, when the eco sheds get taken out of here, we'll name Canada's worst handyman. Then, in our bonus 9th episode, the families who bought the sheds will have their purchases delivered.
To the lucky person that gets the Bud Hut, you're getting a dream shed.
It's final finishing touches time. And we're talking anything.
With the last 90 minutes of build time, the nominees have to do whatever jobs need to be done. For most people, that means painting.
I'm going to paint.
You're going to paint?
I want to paint it. It's important to me. It's my favorite thing to do.
You should probably put paper at least around the edge.
Okay.
Protect your floor.
You've got paint on your floor.
And I'll clean it.
Spilled paint has to be cleaned immediately.
Oh, shoot. Look what I did. Ew, spilt paint.
You spilled your paint?
Yes.
On the floor?
A little bit, yeah. Well, not a little bit, a lot.
Angie thinks this problem is beyond repair.
I tripped over the paint tray.
So she's given up trying to fix it.
How long has this been happening?
A couple of minutes.
If you spill lots of paint, phosphate-free detergent is your best friend. Don't be shy about squeezing it. Here's some quick painting tips. Do use tape to create crisp lines. Don't try making lines with an old clipboard or a drywall palette. Do spread newspaper to catch drips. Don't use newspaper to wipe drips. And of course, do be creative, but don't do anything you can't live with.
I'm not sure if it looks that good. But
I like it like that.
It's kind of like being on acid in the lettuce section.
You got so much paint all over the floor.
You got paint on the floor.
No, you got paint all over the floor.
I don't know if it'll come off.
No, it won't.
To make sure these builders don't completely embarrass us with shoddy sheds, our experts are getting in on the action.
Looks like pine, but actually it's a piece of plywood. We ran the table saw and put saw curves down here just again to mock these grooves right here.
Nice.
It is nice to see everyone finishing up lingering jobs.
That's on inside out.
See, I'm getting better.
As a final thought,
The workbench.
everyone manages to bring their workbench in. But not all of them fit.
Some days you're born lucky. Today isn't one of them.
I don't know how we're going to get this in.
Our sound guy Tobin helps Ruth.
Well, I'd like it where the old pooper was.
So she helps him by carrying the boom pole.
Yeah, I want it in the corner to hide the tiles.
When the benches get fixed permanently in place,
Where's your studs?
God only knows.
the inside of the eco sheds are as done as they're ever going to be. There's only one job left to do. Put on the doors.
This is the hard part? This is the easy part.
Hanging the doors will be easy because when our framing team made these structures,
Don't worry about doors and windows.
they automatically included double steel doors, which we then removed.
The screw holes are still there. This couldn't be easier.
Let's line these puppies up.
The only person without a steel door is Ruth.
Was it going upside down or?
No, that must be the way it goes.
Back on day one, Ruth said,
I wouldn't put it like a boat door on an eco shed. I would be using something else like plywood or chipboard.
So we made Ruth a set of chipboard doors.
Do you like it?
65. I do like it. 65.
Cool. And is it going to go in right?
I'm hoping.
Is that Z going to the outside or the inside?
The what?
The Z has to go on the outside because it has the hinges.
You understand this piece of strapping?
Yeah.
Is going to be what the hinge goes onto?
Yeah.
These, want to go basically there.
It's supposed to go on here. He told you point blank the hinges are going on here.
Well, it's not going to fit properly.
Ruth's big issue is that she's trying to put the door in backwards and upside down.
Stay out of the way.
That doesn't look right.
Before installing a fresh knob in a new door,
You realize after this, you'll actually be able to fix that door on the front of your house.
you have to chisel into the door because, according to the instructions, the faceplate should fit flush.
Why is this kind of sticking out like that?
Because you have yet to chisel a little indentation for it to rest in.
Chisel and indentation.
This is the faceplate. Its function is to protect and align the moving latch.
If you think you've cut deep enough, now start going up with your chisel.
What do you mean going up?
On an angle.
Okay.
How deep did you go?
I don't know.
Oh, that is awfully deep, Jeff.
Not deep enough, apparently.
How come you're cutting that out?
Huh?
It'll sit in better.
How do you do that?
According to your instructions.
The instructions are confusing me, so I thought I'd just try to wing it.
Terry's also winging it. He marks with a saw, then chisels with a screwdriver.
So that's the right tool for the job?
Well, I don't have a chisel.
Even with a chisel,
Thank you.
there's still one elusive element.
I'm missing something here.
Common sense?
Yes. No.
See this?
Yeah.
You just cut into the metal door.
I'm sorry. It's still sticking out. Oh, I suck at chiseling.
That's right, honey. Always chisel toward your thumb.
This is frustrating.
When the faceplate gets screwed in place, line up the striker plate on the other door and chisel a hole where it will be so the latch has somewhere to go.
Man, this takes patience.
Earlier today, the nominees made signs for their sheds.
The yellow-faced cow, it bites, yes.
The bud hut? But I'm noticing something about these bees here.
Boobies.
How do you do it is what I want to know.
All this and good looks, too.
Jaime's sign says,
JWG, which are my initials.
Jaime likes to DJ.
Oh my God.
And I'm an addicted record collector. So I feel the need to give Jaime this.
This record I bought for $1, and I didn't know why I bought it at the time, and now I know why.
Oh, sweet.
I apologize for the spelling mistake.
Yeah.
There's no party over at Ruth's shed.
It's not a proper door. It's not a proper door.
What have you done? You understand now that that's on backwards, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Ruth gets her door off
Don't try to move it.
Oh, I will.
and flipped over and put back on. To get this far, Ruth failed a lot
I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
and was bailed out a lot.
We're a team. We're gonna help you finish.
Out of the 27 individual challenges that went into making this shed,
That's beautiful, that.
Apart from the gap in the bloody
Apart from-
door.
this door job is only the second project that Ruth finished on time.
Yay!
Jeff also finishes.
What am I doing wrong?
Jeff's journey was flawed.
I know why it's wrong. I didn't know how to fix it.
His building isn't so much an eco-shed as it is an amalgamation of his failures.
That locks, that unlocks, that shuts, that opens. That's a working door, my friend.
In Jeff's structure is a little bit of evidence he's learning. Terry's story isn't closing so well.
Doesn't work. What the Look at it. It's totally off center.
Terry's not the only one in trouble.
I just racked the whole door. I chiseled the door off.
If you push hard, the door on Jaime's shed closes. To reach this point, Jaime had to do a lot of listening.
You don't listen.
And he had to work in conditions that weren't often conducive to clear thinking.
I'm arguing here instead of doing it. Just leave.
Jaime has to be glad this is over.
Jaime, are you done?
Yeah.
But in the end, his shed is the best of the worst. For Terry, the door on his shed swings shut in the most fitting way.
Hey! I'm in the shed and I can't get out.
Terry's shed started wrong.
Where's the roof?
It progressed wrong.
Thing's too short.
And after making major mistakes in more than half of the 27 challenges, Terry's shed is finished. Wrong.
I'm over here.
The only person to not get their door on is Candace. In this final challenge, Justin didn't bail her out like he usually does. Truth be told, Justin built this shed, not Candace.
They should have a special cutting tool.
This is the special cutting tool.
So in the end, Candace has a nice eco shed, but she didn't learn much.
I think there should be an easier way to chisel.
You think there should be an easier way to chisel?
Like a rounded chisel, so I could get in the rounded areas.
When we come back, we name the worst handyman for this episode.
The window covering goes right on top of the window covering.
Canada's worst handyman will be named next episode after the nominees take their finished eco sheds out of here. How they get them out will be interesting to say the least, because Candace is the only candidate whose shed is lower than our doorway.
Yeah, watch, watch, watch.
To name the worst for this episode, I'm joined by Greg on the ground. Jill will be inspecting the roofing work. At Harry's shed, Greg discovers the door sticks.
The reason why these doors don't fit now is because when he was putting up the plywood on his shed, he kind of the shed a little bit.
Yeah. You put one line wrong. Oh, we got to tweak that in, so they push it.
So it's really unfixable at this stage.
Yeah.
Up above,
Terry's roof is completely wrong.
Jill is amazed at the inconsistency.
Each shingle has a tab right there. It's going to be lined up right there.
If you do that,
These offsets are identical.
these are barely offset at all. On Ruth's roof, the shingling was done by our pros, but inside, it's amateur hour.
Oh, they have no respect for this floor.
The window covering goes right on top of the window covering. What I was actually going to say is these are all on backwards, but
Over at Jeff's shed, there are bigger issues, starting with his flat roof.
I love this roof. People like me will get paid a lot of money to rip it off and rebuild it. It's a design issue. That's only good for sitting on. You throw those chairs up here, have a beer, that's about it.
it's not a roof, it's a deck.
Jeff's door has some serious security issues.
Does help if you put some screws in it. 1, 2, 1. 4 screws.
The shingling on Candace's shed says more about the foreman than her.
Jaime could be the worst for this episode because he oversaw all of these roofs and not one of them is done right.
This is a disaster because there's 5 sheds here with not one roof that's going to be sealed properly.
Candace's door doesn't seal at all.
The door that doesn't work. The lock
Jam set is locked in.
Yeah.
For the worst handyman this episode, Jill is adamant.
I think the roof catastrophe lays on Jaime's shoulders. Worst.
As foreman, Jaime did manage to get all the roofs plywooded.
1, 2, 3.
But
they're all wrong, and there was a huge amount of waste.
Greg, what do you see for the worst?
Jeff's shed, he hasn't finished anything. Jeff's my candidate
Which
for the
brings
worst.
Ruth to mind when you think of hasn't finished anything.
You know what she finished today? Her doors.
4 hinges. Let the bells ring and the banners fly.
after a little more debate,
I think we're on the same page. Worst, I got it. A big round of applause. You all managed to finish your eco sheds.
this evening, no one is being named most improved.
I mean, I'll ask for the tool belt back.
That's because in our next and final episode, there won't be a group challenge for anyone to be foreman of.
That brings us to the worst handyman for this episode. And this one pains me greatly to say, because I actually think this person has the best shed in the entire rehab center. I'm sorry, but yes. Jaime, you did manage to get a whole lot of work done on the roofs, but every single one of them is shingled incorrectly. And our experts say that's just unforgivable. So for that crime, you're gonna have to hang your head in shame, sir.
All right. Jaime was named the worst this episode
He deserves that.
because he failed as a foreman on the plywood project.
I want to know how we're gonna fix it.
He couldn't grasp shingling.
Oh, we don't have to go like that on the side?
Yeah, we do.
And his door needs to be slammed.
Right? Just bounces.
For his remedial lesson, Jaime joins Jill so he can get a good look at exactly what he accomplished as foreman.
So, this nail's wrong, and there should be another one here. The gap, or the staggering, is too close together. The boot should be overlapping this shingle over here. These slaps are gonna cause leaks because there's no stagger whatsoever. The nail is too close to the gap. The shingles on the edges have not been cut properly. They should be a straight line. My lack of foreman skills probably showed a little bit. I failed in being a foreman.
On the next episode of Canada's Worst Handyman, the finished eco sheds will leave this workspace
Stop, stop, stop!
after they've been made to fit through the door. It's an exciting finish you have to see to believe. When the dust settles, someone will be crowned Canada's worst handyman.
I love what you've done with the shed. This is great.
I'm not thinking outside the shed.